What's up, my friends? I was actually busily watching the intro myself. It was just playing on the screen. I'm watching the transition and stuff, and then I clicked, and I'm like, wait a minute, now I'm on screen. I probably should have been ready for that. Hello, speaking of ready, is my microphone on? Yeah. Okay, it is good. Hello! Hello. Okay, things are a little bit different from my normal setup. I got the setup on the different monitors. But overall, it looks like we're good. So, we're here to talk about some spoiler action. But before we do that, since this is a random middle of the day stream, I need to grab the link and share that in the Discord so that people know what's going down. So, I usually forget if I don't do it immediately. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. All right, there we go. That's good. The live stream looks like it's doing good. So let's say hello. Who's in here? What's up? Let's see. What up? Ty, Lucas, Kyle, David J, Andrew G with that hippo. Thanks for the super sticker with the working and jerking his arm. That sticker is hilarious to me. The whole idea is supposed to be like, check it out, I play like the Halo games or whatever, but it always just looks like to me like the hippo's going and then just going. And I'm just like, that's amazing. For $3 you can just go to somebody on YouTube, bam, like what? That's amazing. So anyways, that distracted me from my hellos. Hello, PMS, Kentucky, Butcher, Tayson, Ford, Patrick, Millie, Vanilli, Cinder Shadow, Pot, Pyre, Erebus, Error, Meta, Kaufman. What's up? What's up, people? All right, we're here to look at some Phyrexia spoilers that came out of Dominaria remastered booster packs. It is an odd occurrence. So, Andrew G, glad for an early stream. Me too, man. And this is a perfect opportunity to do it. I just looked at this and was like, we got a lot to talk about. Ball Falcon with the double hippo arms. Thanks for the super sticker, bro. What up, Simkill, Hamilton, DD? Everyday time zone change. You've been flying across them time zone borders? Well, let's talk about our first Phyrexia card, shall we? We got Black Cleaves Cliffs. This is a reprint, right? So, enters the battlefield tapped unless you control two or few other lands. Gives you a black or a red. Flavor text is based on Wizards of the Coast's business policy, where ambition meets industry. Passion is poisoned by greed. 30th anniversary! Anyways, as far as cards go, it's cool with the artwork to kind of set the tone of Phyrexia, but it's a reprint, so how exciting is it, right? I think there's a couple different lands sprinkled in here. These aren't in any particular order, all right? So, Black Sun's Twilight. I didn't read some of these. This is one of them. 1 black and X. Up to one target creaker. One creaker gets -X till end of turn. If 5 or more was spent on X, return a creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Okay. So you can just use it as instant creature removal earlier on, and then instant rezzing of your dudes plus hardcore minusing one of theirs? Yeah. That's solid, man. What's the flavor text? Where once there was complacence, Sheoldred brought ambition, and soon the will of Yawgmoth reigned. Sheoldred's... What, is Sheoldred pushing back against... Is Sheoldred pushing back against... what's her name? Good lord. Elish Norn. Is that what's going on? This one's cool. The artwork's funky. Each one of them has like a different kind of interaction with the sun And this one is just Sheoldred kind of framing and framed by it. That's cool. That is some funky artwork, man. That's good. That's good. Then we got Blade of Shared Souls. 1 blue and 2 for an artifact equipment for Mirrodin. That's a clunky name. But yeah, it makes a 2/2 red rebel creature attached to this. So for 1 blue and 2, you make a 2/2 red rebel creature that has this sword. Whenever it becomes attached to a creature, for as long as Blade of Shared Soul remains attached to it, you may have that creature become a copy of another target creature you control. Oh, that's really funky. It's like a nutty clone blade. All right. Weird. I want to see what it's like. Bloated Contaminator talked about this in my main video today. This thing's nuts, man. 3 mana for a 4/4 trampler with Toxic. Gonna slam your opponent for 2 poison counters. Like, this is nuts. It's such good value for your mana. It's not even 2 green and 1. It's just what? The power is crazy. Conduit of Worlds. This card's nuts. 2 green and 2 artifact. You can play lands from your graveyard. Choose target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. If you haven't cast a spell this turn, you can cast that card. If you do, you can't cast additional spells this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. It's pretty wild to let you keep accessing your graveyard, right? But it will only let you do, it's like, yo, if you do this, you can't cast other spells. If you've cast other spells, you can't do this. Normally, magic abilities on like artifacts don't have that kind of restriction. It's funky. I'm curious to see how powerful it'll be in effect, right? I mean, it lets you play lands from your graveyard as well. So it's got the Crucible of Worlds tacked in there. It seems pretty strong. This seems pretty strong. You got Copperline Gorge. This is the red-green land. Where fire meets ferocity, a greater evolution begins. Okay. Dragon Wing Glider. This is that Goblin Rebel equipment. It looks so goofy. It looks so he looks so dumb in this. It's all right, though. It's like the same difference as a 4/4 flying hasted dragon, but it drops equipment afterwards. So you got that, right? Encroaching Mycosynth is 1 blue and 3 artifact. Non-land permanents you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. Same is true for permanent spells you control, non-land permanents you own that aren't on the battlefield. So it's basically one-sided turn all your stuff into artifacts, right? Because you have the, what is it, Mycosynth? What is the name of it? Mycosynth Lattice? Is that what it is? That turns everything into an artifact? This just does your side, so you don't have to do it to your opponent if you don't want to, but you're limited to having, like, blue mana to play it. Careful, however they might look, they're not human. A step too close, and they'll drag you in. Who's not human? The what? The people? Is it people stuck in the Mycosynth? Is that what it is? The people, oh, is that like are their torso? Oh, their torso's sticking out of it. Stay away from them. They're not people. It'll pull you in. Oh, that's funky and unpleasant. All right. Evolved Spinoderm. 2 green and 2 for a 5/5 Phyrexian beast. Enters the battlefield with 4 oil counters on it. Has trample as long as it has 2 or few oil counters on it. Otherwise, it has hexproof. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove an oil counter from it. Then if it has no oil counters on it, sacrifice it. Oh, it's like, what was that? Is it Blastoderm? The old, like, 4 mana 5/5 with fading. So it comes into play with 4 oil counters. It's a 4 mana for a 5/5 trampler for 2 turns. Then it's a 5/5 hexproof for 2 turns. And then it dies? This seems like garbage. Doesn't it? Like, this is unexciting, bro. I mean, there's a bunch of ways to put oil counters on stuff, I guess, but 4 mana for a 5/5 trampler? For 3 mana, I get a 4/4 trampler with Toxic 1 and Proliferate. So for 1 less mana, I take 1 less off and I get trampled, but I get to keep my creature? Like, is this for real? Am I missing something? And there's a battle with 4 oil counters. Okay. Trample as long as it has 2 or few. Oh, no, sorry. It's the other way around. So it doesn't even have trample to start with. It's a 5/5 hexproof until 2 turns later, and then it gets trample? Oh, this is awful. This is awful. This is a rare? This is dreadful. Finn, you think it needs to have... I mean, adding something like it can't be counted to it would make it better, I guess, but this is dreadful. I guess they have to put some rares in the packs that make you disappointed to get them for some reason. This sucks. All right, moving on. Geth. Hey, Geth is back. All right. 2 black and 1, 3/4. It's already got a big body. Other creatures you control get -1/-1. Well, that's unpleasant. 2 black and 1. Tap. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains if this creature would leave the battlefield. Exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Do it only as a sorcery. Okay, that's really powerful reanimation. I guess that's why the creatures get -1/-1, is to balance that out. That's kind of funky. 3 mana for a 3/4 that can return creatures from your graveyard, and you can actually turn the -1/-1 into an advantage for yourself by going, hey, if I was playing with stuff like Eternal Witnesses that only have 1 toughness, comes into play for its, I enter the play, get a card back from your graveyard. Oops, I died because I don't have any toughness. Back to the graveyard, get me back next turn with the same ability. So it will let you recur, right? It's all right. Geth is back. He's one of the crab. He's a crab man with a mohawk. Crab people. All right. Then we got Graz, the Unstoppable Juggernaut. 8 mana. What is this? 7/5 legendary Juggernaut. Juggernauts you control. Oh, cool. It's all Juggernauts you control. Attack each turn of combat. If able, that's neat. Juggernauts you control can't be blocked by walls, like the original Juggernaut. Other creatures you control have base power toughness 5/3 and are Juggernauts in addition to their other creature types. And it's 7/5. Yes, this is dumb fun. I want this in my cube, man. I want this in my cube. That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, it's not like an amazing card from like the rares you want to be cracking to get you big money probably out of your packs, but in terms of flavor and dumbness, I love it. It's big dumb. All right, then we got Kamba Ka Enduring. 1 white and 1, 2/2 legendary cat. Whenever it or another cat enters the battlefield under your control, attach an equipment you control to that creature if you want it. All right. Equipped creatures get +1/+1, and 5 mana make a 2/2 white. All right, white cat creature token. Meh. That's all right. That's all right. For 2 mana for a 2/2, that's not too shabby. There are equipments with big costs, right? So getting around, it's not too bad. I don't know about his gear. I don't know. He looks like he's, especially on the legs, he looks like he's wearing like hockey gear, bro. Looks like he's wearing hockey gear on the bottom, and he looks like he's wearing gear from like a bad Guyver movie on the top. And I don't know what's up with this. I don't know what's up with the mirror and weaponry yet. Not sure how I feel about it. Kethic Crucible Goliath. What are you? 4 mana. Red, black, 2. 4/4. Legendary Phyrexian Beast. At the beginning of your end step, you may sack another creature. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature with lesser mana value. Put it onto the battlefield. Then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Huh. So you can just sacrifice creatures to get just somebody who costs less. And you can't get legendaries that way. And you can do that every turn? Yeah. And it's at the end step, too. I like this. This is cool. This is fun. I'll try this out in my cube. James P. says, Lord of Luck of the board, you are. You know what? I'll show you secretly, between you and me. It's still there. Your name is up there in spirit. After we're done the cards, it'll be up there for real. Anyways, let's look at the next magical card, shall we? Mercurial Spelldancer. Yeah, Mercurial, that makes me think of Mercutio from Romeo and Juliet. Look at that. 1 blue and 1 for a 2/1 Phyrexian rogue. Can't be blocked. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on it. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you can remove 2 oil counters from it. If you do, when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Wow, this feels fiddly like old original era Magic cards where it's like, okay, I gotta keep track of my non-creature spells that I cast, put a counter on it, and then when it swings, if I have at least 2 counters, I can remove 2 counters, and then I got to keep track of that so that my next instant or sorcery spell gets copied. Like, that's fiddly, but for 2 mana, that's not too shabby, right? That's not too shabby at all. It's like a death cascade ability. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Bo. That actually, like, for the previous card. Obviously not for this one. Totally. Totally. Look at this. Look at this cable-covered lady. All right. Miglaws. I am Miglaws. I am the Maze Crusher. 1 green, 1 red, and 1 for Miglaws. 4/4. Man, the bodies. We got some thick bodies. Miglaws. Maze Crusher enters the battlefield with 5 oil five oil counters. Pay 1. Remove an oil counter from Miglaws. It gains vigilance and menace until end of turn. 2 mana. Remove 2 oil counters from Miglaws. It gets +2. 2 counters to give +2/+2. That chundles, bro. 3. Remove 3 oil counters from Miglaws. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. So you can, for 5 mana, you could give it +2/+2 till end of turn and destroy an artifact or enchantment. It's got a 4/4 body for 3. I'm not super hyped about what you get for the oil counters overall, but really, that's just being greedy. 3 mana for a 4/4 with the versatility of vigilance, staying open to block, menace, so they have to be able to double block, being able to beef it as a threat at instant speed, and then also having the ability to destroy artifact or enchantments. This is actually solid as hell. Let's be real. Miglaws is crushing it. And I love his name. All right. Mind Splice Apparatus. What up, ship man? Mind Splice Apparatus. This is a funky card, but like I said before, oh my god, my hand's turning into a giant thumb. Guys, help me. Help me. Somebody call the doctor. My hand is a giant thumb. Do you see what happened? Do you see? Look at the card. Look at my hand. Help me. Help. Oh god, I'm a freak. I'm a freak. Oh, you know what though? I can like mega thumbs up my own videos. Never mind, we're gonna be okay. I'm double thumb man. I got a pincher claw. I'm ready to get all right. Anyways, now that illusion has been dispelled, let us talk about this card. 4 mana is a lot of mana, right? 4 mana is a lot of mana for something that doesn't do anything the turn it shows up. Unless there's something that's gonna slap oil counters on it. Unless you got the way to move counters around. Artwork's crazy. All right. Mirex. Now this sounds like some kind of like cleaning stuff, right? Use it to scrub your sink and your dog. So this is, it's a land sphere. Well, I got it. Now spheres are round. What is this? How? Okay, well, anyways, it's a sphere, because that's what it says. Tap for a colorless. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Activate only if Mirex entered the battlefield this turn. Interesting. That's funky. 3 and tap, create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian might... Whoa, okay, so... What? What? Okay, This is crazy. This is crazy. How is this not crazy? 3 and tap to make a 1/1 with Toxic 1 and can't block. And it taps for a colorless on top of that. So it's a land that generates 1/1 tokens that only costs 3 to activate. And it gives you a colorless mana with no downside. Oh, and by the way, the first turn you put it out, you can have a mana of any color. Like, you know what? When I read all that, my brain goes, that's a sphere. That makes sense. I see a sphere. This is crazy. This seems really good. This seems really good. I mean, I might be overblowing it because Phyrexian mites are like, this creature can't block. So maybe that factors in more. But really, genuinely, this feels nutty, doesn't it? I mean, not being able to block, whatever, right? You're going to be generating creatures. Wizards like to push the envelope too, so who knows? Who knows? But it feels crazy. Anyways, next we got Monument to Perfection. It kind of looks like a dong with a bunch of balls. All right. 2 for an artifact. 3 and tap it. Search your library for a basic sphere or locust land. Well, here we go. Here's the sphere stuff coming into play. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Wait. Yo. Journeyer's Kite. What's Journeyer's Kite? 2 mana, 3 and tap. Go through your deck for a basic land, put it into your hand. So this just gets you, okay, this is straight up better. 3 mana becomes a 9. A 9/9 loses all abilities and gains indestructible and toxic 9. Activate only if there are 9 more lands with different names among the basic sphere and locust lands you control. Huh. This is cool. That's funky, man. That is funky. I mean, they know what spheres are because there's spheres in this video, in this artwork, but that other thing wasn't a sphere. Anyways, Norn's Welsh. Ew. Oh, this artwork's crazy. 1 white and 1 for an artifact. When a creature you control dies, scry 1 and put an oil counter on Norn's Wellspring. 1 tap, remove 2 oil counters from Norn's Wellspring, draw a card. Wow. You're going to get to do a fair bit of scrying. Right? And then just, like, removing 2 oil counters off of it doesn't feel like it really means that much. It doesn't, like, who cares? You're just getting them as a bonus. You're losing your creatures. You're getting to scry. This feels solid, right? Flavor text says, drown so you may breathe again. That's unpleasant. Look at, like, the artwork. You got this kind of crazy Norn, I don't know, acolyte or whatever with the ribbons going up. But then you've got the mask of Phyrexia of weeping streams of Phyrexian ichor down into the pool you're bathing in. No, thank you. No, thank you. MS for the Barks. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate the super chat. And I appreciate Barks. That reminds me, I need to pick up some more, actually. So thanks for the reminder, too. This is some crazy artwork, man. This is nutty. This is nutty. All right. Ovika, Enigma Goliath. 1 red, 1 blue, and 5 for a 6/6 flying. It's got ward 3, pay 3 life. What? So your opponent has to pay 3 and 3 life? Both? That's pretty big ward. All right, so 7 mana for a 6/6 flyer. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X 1/1 red Phyrexian goblin creature tokens, where X is the mana value of that spell. They gain haste until end of turn. The artwork is like, what? It's a legendary Phyrexian nightmare. Well, it looks like a flying crab man with emrakul arms and a sheet on its head flying around with a big old wizard staff. I love it. What the hell? That's awesome. This thing's going in my cube. It's nutty. It is nutty. All right. Phyrexian Arena. Oh, big spoiler moment here, friends. 2 black and 1 for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. This is a card that's been reprinted a number of times. It was originally in Apocalypse, right? And the flavor text. For a bittersweet moment, Jace believed he could still save his love. A moment was all Vraska needed. For the glory of Phyrexia, she whispered. Take that, Jace. He got fisted by Phyrexia. Getting hosed, man. That's what it looks like, right? It looks like she grabbed him around the neck and put her hand right through him. While he's all like, oh no, how am I supposed to be emo if I'm dead? So we'll have to see what happens with the story. This is a story spotlight card. The story starts on the 12th? Is it? Something like that? Or was that the spoiler season? I don't know. I mean, spoiler season already started with Wizards putting the wrong cards in the packs, right? Red Sun's Twilight. 2 red and X for a sorcery. Destroy up to X target artifacts. If X is 5 or more, for each artifact destroyed this way, create a token that's a copy of it? Gotta love it when your streaming software just goes, hey, I'm disconnected. It's like, let's see, is this fixed? Are we good? Are we good or no? Stream was mostly good. Are these in draft packs or collector packs? I think they came out of draft packs, if I'm not mistaken. It very much looked like that. So yeah, I'm going to say it was draft packs. I'm wondering if the box of draft packs that I have, they're not mine, they belong to the game store, but I'm wondering if those might have some Phyrexian cards in them. All right, so my friends, has the stream reestablished itself? Can you see me properly? Are we good? Are we good? All right, looks like we are good. Cool. So, I guess I don't know exactly when it janked out, so I'm just going to say the ability of the card again. You destroy up to X target artifacts. If you spent 5 or more on X, each artifact destroyed this way, you get to make a token copy of it, and those tokens gained haste. That's awesome. And it totally is like, it does feel, oh, is this what they're going to do? They're, hey, we're going to take back Mirrodin by destroying and making copies of you? Is that actually part of the plan, or is that just a cool ability for this card, right? Flavor text says, where once there was apathy, Urabrask brought passion, and the great work truly began. Interesting. Interesting. Then we've got Rhea Ivor, Bane of Bladehold. Oh, is this a Bladehold champion who's been subverted? 1 black, 1 white, and 2, 3, 4. It looks like it. Phyrexian Knight, battle cry. Yep. The beginning of combat on your turn. The next time target creature would deal combat damage to 1 or more players this combat, prevent that damage. If damage is prevented this way, create that many 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature tokens. Okay, so hold on. At the beginning of combat on your turn, the next time target creature would deal combat damage to 1 or more players. Okay, so you can choose to replace this creature's combat if you want, or other people's combat damage. Doesn't matter which one of your creatures, and then you get an equal number of mites. So this can make 3 Phyrexians. All right. That's different. So when it initially swings in, it won't hit for anything, but then the battle cry will start to compound on those tokens. Oh, there we got the white-blue land, where indoctrination meets inquiry. Currents roil restlessly beneath the surface. Bum, bum, bum. Looks kind of cool, actually. The crazy metal spires. All right. And then we've got Skrelv's Hive. This is nutty, man. This is like a bitter blossom. 1 white and 1, and basically it makes you one of those mites every turn. Obviously they can't block, but you do have the whole, as long as your opponent has 3 or more poison counters, then your little dudes have lifelink as well. So I feel like this is an insane card, right? I talked about it, like I picked this one to talk about in the main video because it was pretty wild. Pretty wild. Tablet of Completion is next. 2 mana artifact, tap it, put an oil counter on the tablet, tap it, add a colorless, activate it only if it has 2 or more oil counters on it, 1 and tap it, draw a card, activate only if it has 5 or more oil counters. Oh, wow. Okay, so you put it out the first turn, it does nothing. The second turn, it does nothing. The third turn, you can use it for mana if you want, but when you don't need it for mana anymore, you can start to tap it to build up the oil counters, and then it's only 1 mana to draw cards. That is crazy. Like, if you get to the point where you're just paying 1 mana to draw a card, that's nuts. That's really very appealing. I would try this out in my cube, actually. This is a funky idea. And I like the artwork, too, man. You can see all the Phyrexian inscriptions in it and the Phyrexian oil bubbling out of it. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. What up, you? Yeah, they changed the rules. People don't have to wait until like official release to be able to play with cards anymore. Eternal Wanderer. I talked about this one in the main video. It's pretty wild that this Planeswalker can just basically make it impossible for you to swing through if you don't have a fly or something. I can just keep making a creature. Boom. Unkillable, right? Oh, what's this? Monumental Facade. Oh, another sphere. Okay. Land sphere. Enters the battlefield with 2 oil counters on it. Tap to add a colorless. Tap, remove an oil counter from it. Put an oil counter on target artifact or creature you control. Here we go. Here we go. Something that lets you move oil counters around. This is what I wanted to know if we were going to see, because this makes all the oil stuff we see around more relevant. This thing, combined with that artifact we just saw, you can speed up getting to draw a card for 1 mana by 2 turns using this. That is pretty sweet, man. That's pretty sweet. I like that. Mycosynth Gardens, another sphere. Okay. Tap to add a colorless. 1 and tap for a mana of any color. Going on today with my computer or my internet. It disconnected again. Maybe it disconnected while I was saying the wrong thing. So, anyways. So what it actually does is become a copy of an artifact you control. That's so nutty. And once it does, it's not telling to turn, it doesn't turn back. That's really cool. That's a really cool ability. I like this. This is great, man. This is great. Seed Core. Oh, yep, they're sphering it up. So this one gives a colorless. Tapped out a mana of any color. Spend this mana, only cast Phyrexian creature spells. Oh, cool. All right. A Phyrexian land. Corrupted. Tap. Target 1/1 creature gets +2/+1 till end of turn. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Neat. Cool. They took like the tribal land concept for different creatures where they go, okay, choose your creature type. You can only get mana for that like creature type. They set it to Phyrexian, but they added on a reverse Pendelhaven effect. Pendelhaven is like normally like give 1 green to give a 1/1 creature +1/+2 till end of turn. And in this case, it's you give a 1/1 creature +2/+1. You don't have to spend any mana to activate it, but you can't do it unless your opponent's already poisoned. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. All right, Thrun is back, and he's the Breaker of Silence now. 5 mana gets you a 5/5, can't be countered, trample. He can't be the target of non-green spells your opponents control or abilities from non-green sources your opponent control. So he's basically like hexproof from non-green. That's funky. As long as it's your turn, he's indestructible. This seems pretty solid overall, right? Like indestructible goodness. I'm down with this. I'm down with this. Unctus the Grand Metatect. 2 blue and 1, 2/4 legendary artifact creature, Phyrexian Vidalkin. Other blue creatures you control have, when this creature becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. He'd be great with Patron Wizard. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1, and Phyrexian mana until end of turn. Target creature you control becomes a blue artifact in addition to its other colors and types. So you can basically spend mana or life to make your creatures into artifact creatures. They'll get +1/+1, and you'll benefit from that whenever they become tapped, draw, and discard. So, I mean, 2/4 on top of that, he doesn't seem too shabby at all. He looks like a ninja because of his mask. I'm a ninja, but I don't need to worry about sneaking around because you are already dead. What do we got after this? Oh, Urabrask's Forge. 1 red and 2 artifact. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put an oil counter on it. Then create an X1 red Phyrexian horror token with trample and haste, where X is the number of oil counters on it. So, oh, what? It makes ball lightnings, basically. Sure, they're only 1/1 to start with. That's cool, man. That's one of those cards that has a feeling of inevitability to it. It won't be too long before you just get overrun by the Forge's creations. You know, just it's not actually that it's one creature getting bigger. It's just more of these hounds being added. That's awesome. It's got Toxic 1. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, Oh, cool. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, target opponent gets a poison counter. I love it. I play green all the time, man. You want to target my stuff? Get poisoned. Get poisoned. Love it. This was once a peaceful spring, but I wouldn't advise taking a sip. Yeah, I mean, that dude lives in that water, right? So that's a no from me. That's a no from me. All right, Venser is next. He is 1 black, 1 blue for a 1/3 with lifelink and toxic 1. Whenever you proliferate, choose 1. If you don't control a creature named the Hollow Sentinel, create it. It's a 3/3 colorless Phyrexian golem. Or target artifact creature you control gains flying and lifelink till end of turn. Crazy. Every time you proliferate, you can make a creature. I mean, it's legendary, so if you don't have a way to sack it or whatever. That's crazy, man. That's awesome. Oh, that's right. You could target the poison elf yourself because it says target opponent, not the person who's casting the spell. That's true too. Poor Venser. Look what happened to him, man. That's brutal. Vindictive Flamestoker. 1 red, 1/2 Phyrexian wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Vindictive Flamestoker. 7 mana, sack him. Discard your hand, then draw 4 cards. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each oil counter on Vindictive Flamestoker. 7 mana is a lot, but, I mean, building up counters on them and then getting to refill your hand cheap, that could be pretty solid, actually, depending on how it goes, right? Her Faith burns hot. White Sun's Twilight, 2 white next sorcery. You gain X life. Create X 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creatures with toxic 1, and this creature can't block. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. So it's basically just a big old Wrath of God effect that also gives you a bunch of 1/1s, or can give you a few little 1/1s in a pinch if you need it. Not too shabby. The monument itself, obviously, is a monument to Norn, standing there with the sun basically in the palm of her hand. That ties into the whole flavor behind Norn, dominating all. Everything is under her control. Even the sun is just there at her beck and call kind of deal. It's got the right vibe. Zenith Chronicler, 2 mana, 3/1. Whenever a player casts their first multicolor spell each turn, each other player draws a card. Wow. You're going to punish people playing multicolor. That's funky. It watches through the never-ending day, motionless save for the unsettling twitching dance it performs as each sun reaches its apex. All right. Just some weird Phyrexian construct that keeps track of the dance around to just act right up with the stream. It's so annoying. Well, let's take a moment. Let it catch itself back up. What are you going to do? Technology is what it is, friends. I did get new gear, though, so it's not supposed to be doing this, but whatever. Anyways, it looks like it's running again, so let us take a look. 4 mana for the 6/6 flyer. Enters the battlefield with 4 oil counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove an oil counter from it. Then if it has no oil counters on it, you lose the game. What? What? Hold on. It comes with 4 counters on it, and then if it has no oil counters on it, you lose the game. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, its controller loses 2 life. You're getting a big body, but for a big risk, right? Like a big risk. I don't know. 6/6 flyer, that's beefy, right? You got 4 turns, and then you just straight up lose. Risky. It's a risky proposition. Artwork's pretty wild, though, right? Argentum Masticore. Another Masticore. 5 mana for a 5/5 Phyrexia Masticore. First strike protection from multicolored. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you discard a card. When you discard a card this way, destroy target non-land permanent opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to the mana value of the discarded card. Wow. What? You just pitch a card every turn, and it basically acts like a Vindicate? And this thing's got first strike and protection from multicolored? This is nuts. This is nuts. I mean, it's 5 mana, but this feels nuts. Oh, Blackcleave Cliffs. That means we've come full circle. That is every single spoiler that we have from this set. All right, so since I'm streaming again later tonight anyways, and we're opening some Dominaria Remastered, I guess we're just going to end it off here. Thanks for coming and hanging out, friends. It's been a chill stream, and I'll see you guys back here a little bit later on for a different style chill stream with the Wheel of... we'll see what it is tonight. It's going to be the Wheel of Insanity, the Wheel of Good Times. I don't know, but into the water, into the depths, my soul descends. So, see you guys later.